What is up, everybody? Just getting back in the lab here. Let me get my mic set up. Should be better now. What's up, gang? Liam Murphy here. Going to be reviewing my high stakes managed leagues today and any lessons from the best ball season I think we're learning. Let's get it. All right. As I said, I am Liam. Please hit the like and subscribe if you have not already. Going to be diving into my high stakes managed leagues today. Primarily, they were done on the FFPC. You know, the FFPC and me had some differences over the Taysom Hill eligibility, but I am a believer that more sites are better for consumers, and I think the FFPC puts on some great contests. So let's look at them now. I ended up doing 5 main events, 2 by myself, 3 of them shared. And then I also did, there's this site called Real Time Sports, which is very similar to the FFPC, except it is in the like $250 range or something like that. Did one over there, so we'll look at that one as well. So we'll do a high-level overview. We'll talk about what's working, what's not from the teams. And yeah, I mean, I guess first for the format, if you don't know what it is, let's just key off the rules here. The FFPC main event, which is the most of the teams here, it's anywhere from 2,000 to 1,600, depending on how many you do. It's a 4,200 entry contest. Hashtag blaze it. It is weeks 1 to 12 is the regular season. So this week is the last week of the regular season. If you are in first by record, or if you are in first if you've scored the most points, you automatically make it to the championship round, weeks 15 through 17, where you're playing for the $1 million first place prize. If you don't, but you make the playoffs, which is the team with the highest record, the team with the most points, and then the remaining team with the best record, and the remaining team with the best points, then you are entered into the league playoffs. And if you win your league playoffs, you make it again to the championship round. So each group of 12, each draft group of 12 can send a maximum of 3 teams. The 2 teams that automatically qualify, and a third team if they happen to beat those automatic qualifiers in the league playoffs. You get a little bit of money if you win the league playoffs, or if you finish first or second. The team with the best head-to-head record gets $2K. The team with the most points gets $2K. If this is the same team, that team gets $3K. Why not 4? Come on now. And if you win your league playoffs, weeks 13 through 14, you either get $4K in cash, or you get $2,500 cash plus a main event. If you get second, you get a free main event next year, or $1,500 cash. And if you get 30, you get $500. This is not that important. This is just for the top teams in the whole contest, how much money you get for scoring well. Slightly important, though, is if you make the sprint, is what I'll call it, weeks 15, 16, and 17, where you're playing for all the money. It's a little bit different from best ball, right? Where it's best ball, you have to advance, and then your points are wiped clean. In this, your points are cumulative, and you start with your season average in the regular season. So if you averaged 140 points in the regular season, that's where you start. That doesn't end up mattering that much, your season average. Does a little bit, but way more important is how you score. I did a video in the offseason with the 2-time repeat champions, the guys who won the past 2 years in a row. So you can go back and check out that video if you would like to for next year. If you make the league sprint, it's $1 million to first. You finish second, you get $200K. Third, $100K. You finish 10th, that's $10K. So 10th versus first is extreme, 100 times extreme. And, you get a set of steak knives if you finish like top 150, $1,000. So, and there's also like a consolation prize. So what I'm trying to show you by just showing this, the money of everything, is you are extremely motivated to do anything you can to optimize for winning the contest. The league prizes are nice, but it's a bit of a min cash mentality to target those. So let's go into the teams. The main events first. These 3 teams that are doing well, I also all streamed. The Dirty Davis and the boys team is the stream I did with Kyle Dvorak and Davis Maddock. The Destined for First, I streamed with my friend Tolan, who I went to college with. Such a vain name. It's got to win, right? And then Liam's Choice was a stream draft with Jacob Sanderson and Ron Stewart. And I don't know. They named it something ass, and I asked them to change it, so they just kept Liam's Choice, and so we'll roll with that. And then All I Need Is One was because the FFPC ran a breast cancer promo, and my mom had breast cancer, so I wanted to support them. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to have too many managed leagues this year because waiver Wednesdays are not a great time. And unfortunately, I'm going to show you, I've been very on top of waivers and everything this year. I made one mistake, though, and it was this week. Because this week I went to Miami, had a great time, had what they call a bulldog, I believe, which is when you take a Corona and you tip it into a margarita. And let's just say, don't remember a lot after that, but, I'm sure I had a great time. So all I need is one is an absolute loaded team. We're going to look at the draft board for all these contests first. I pulled I just thought the name All I Need Is One is funny, right? Because it's like, if you win, it's kind of a sick name, right? Like, All I Need Is One. It's true, I only drafted one, and then if it wins. This is the Fantasy Pros Championship, which is a smaller buy-in than the main event. It's $350. And it again is $1 million to first. It's just a much bigger contest with 20,000 entrants versus 4,200. So this is something else you can play if you like it. But going back to the draft board, I took Ja'Marr Chase with the 101 because I felt like it. Like, I'm only doing one. Ja'Marr Chase is my guy. I personally thought Ja'Marr Chase was had the highest individual week ceiling. If you asked me preseason who has the highest individual week ceiling, I would have said Chase and Tyreek Hill. I think Justin Jefferson consistently is going to give you 30 points or whatever, but I don't think he has as many 50-point performances in his bag as Tyreek and Chase, due to the speed of the player, due to the quarterback play, all of that. So obviously, the Chase versus Jefferson has been very much a whiplash discussion. Funnily enough, I doubt either of them will be the 101 next year. It's probably going to be CMC, which is like probably not for me if he is. I'll take some CMC, but we're going to take him another year older over the young wide receivers. I don't know, gang. Hit the 2-3 turn with Mark Andrews and Gibbs. And the FFPC is a tight end premium format, meaning it's PPR. And if you're tight end, you get 1.5 points per reception. So Mark Andrews being there at the 201 was very rare. Like he got taken a lot at the 1-2 turn. He got taken a lot in the mid-second. He almost never made it to me. So that was lucky. And then I reached somewhat on Gibbs, just wanting to get some running backs I thought were solid on the squad. Goes all the way around. And, like I was a big TJ Hawkinson guy this year. I don't have any TJ Hawkinson on the FFPC, which is a bummer, mainly because most of my co-managers did not like him. Is what it is. So Andrews is obviously out for the season now. Chase is obviously a little bit downgraded with Joe Burrow. I mean, a lot downgraded. I still think I would have taken Chase preseason if I knew an injury occurred. I would have taken him after Amon-Ra, after AJ Brown, probably after Garrett Wilson, but I would have taken him ahead of Devontae Adams, ahead of Saquon. So that's where I was at on Chase with an injury. So he goes from the top of the draft to whatever, a late second. Hit Walker and Mike Williams at the 4-5 just to give myself just deal with my 2 running back spots. You have to start quarterback, 2 running backs, only 2 wide receivers, which changes the math a lot because a lot of the sites you have to start 3 wide receivers, only 2 wideouts, and then you get 2 flexes. And of course, Jack, we got you, bro. So Ken Walker was doing great. Now he's hurt. I have a lot more Zach Charbonnet, so probably going to work out for me, although the schedule's brutal. And Mike Williams, who was going to be a slam dunk pick, just betting on the Chargers offense, but, obviously got hurt early. Whipped all the way around, and I got Kirk, a guy who a lot of people started to sour on, but I was not with them. I mean, little brand loyalty by me. Kirk's been on all my winning best ball teams to date, all 3 of them. I thought he's good. I thought he was highly paid. And he played for the Jaguars, a team I thought was going to be good, and I wanted pieces of their passing offense. And then I got Swift again, just like kind of a slam dunk pick at this price. One of the last swings at a league winner to me, where it's like, I mean, come on now. Like Antonio Gibson versus Swift, Dalvin Cook versus Swift, Cam Akers versus Swift, Miles Sanders versus Swift. Like, come on now. Then whipped all the way back around to me, and I got Mike Evans and Marquise. Now, Mike Evans is not a guy I drafted a lot, but I just looked at the rest of the wide receivers, and I knew that the price was just super solid on him. So I got him at the 8th, Marquise at the 9th. So just absolutely smashed the top end of this draft. And then with this being managed, me having Swift and there being enough ambiguity with the Philly running back situation, I slapped on Gainwell and Penny because it's whatever. I feel like I nailed the picks. I got enough wideouts. I got my tight end. I got my 2 running backs. If it's not Swift, let me get the other 2 dudes, and I can eat a 0. I can eat 2 zeros, and obviously I can. Did not get elite quarterback in this one. Didn't get Richardson. None of that. Landed on Kirk and Geno. Unstacked. Geno to Ken Walker, sure, but it's a format that rewards passing more, the FFPC that is, than the normal league. So felt solid with these 2 dudes. These were 2 offenses I really wanted to bet on. I thought these were 2 coaching staffs that got it, a.k.a. looking at their draft, the real NFL draft, these are teams that added additional offensive pieces to already good offenses. And, they have quarterbacks who are good but not difference makers to me. And when you have those quarterbacks, you can win games. But to beat great teams, you need to surround them with talent. So the Vikings added Jordan Addison. The Seahawks added JSN and Zach Charbonnet. So, just wanted to bet on these guys. Whips back around. Boyd and Hyatt. 2 swings, 2 misses, whatever. Whips back around. Jackson and Hull. this was me being like, the market's pretty out on Jonathan Taylor. Went in the 8th round here, but we're not really taking the backup running backs. So let me take 2 swings at it. Now, Deion Jackson sucked and got cut. Evan Hull got hurt, is what it is. Dawson Knox is my tight end 2, kicker defense. So, pretty solid draft. Obviously, injuries are taking its toll somewhat. This team is very much in the thick of it. 6-4. Importantly, I've scored the 2nd most points on the season. Unfortunately, again, I was in Miami. I didn't check my teams. I fucking hate that the FFPC does this, because it's like, bro, why, I didn't look at the team after waivers, apparently. Like, why did you not just put Matt Prater into my kicker position? I wanted to keep Matt Gay, the Indy kicker. And should I be keeping 2 kickers? Probably not, But I just really like the Colts kicker because it's a very pace-up offense. It's an offense that can move the ball but won't always score touchdowns. So I wanted him. Unfortunately, if I had cut him, it would have auto-inserted. But because I didn't, it just set him on my bench and I didn't check. So the bench is this. And unfortunately, I lost this game by less than 6 points, which Matt Prater scored 6.7. So would have won this game if I played Matt Prater. Not impossible, I guess. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I would not have. I didn't look at him having Tony and Bucker. So I was going to lose no matter what. So that takes a lot of the sting out, honestly. But yeah, the team's solid. Obviously, going to put Swift over Walker. Marquise, I think, is just a better play against man defense. Got the Cleveland defense, which is just a league. The Cleveland defense is one of the best defenses for the sprint. They get the Jets. They get a bunch of bad teams. And then, we have some other pieces here on waivers, some running backs that are whatever. Held on some tight ends. We cut Penny for now. We added Will Levis. We're taking swings at quarterback. We didn't get Kyler, but this team should, at worst, make the playoffs. And yeah, like Updog saying here, I'm alive for 2nd in points, but I didn't score that well this week. So big week for me next week, but I should, I got enough of a gap where hopefully it didn't close. So don't think I'll auto qualify, which auto qualifying is huge, right? Because the league playoffs is week 13 and 14, which is some teams have buys still. Week 13 in specific is a bye-mageddon. The Ravens are on bye, the Bills are on bye. So these teams, you really want to auto qualify so you don't have to sweat the league playoffs at all. Okay. The next team is with Ron and Jacob. You can go back and watch that stream if you want. It's on Ron Stewart's YouTube channel. I did not stream that one myself. We pulled the 110 and went with the Diggs Pollard pairing. 2 dudes I was very, very high on in the preseason. Obviously, the Tony Pollard shit's been weird, man. He'll have some games, but he's been whatever. We went Lamar in the 3rd. Even though guys like Josh Jacobs and Ramondre were there was some discussion there. But we went elite quarterback. And I've really learned, last year I thought a real lesson was elite quarterback and managed is just it can smash. So I have my other teams that are doing well. One's a Josh Allen team and one's a Jalen Hurts team. So I got Lamar, Allen, and Hurts, which when you're trying to win $1 million, those are 3 quarterbacks I want to bet on. ETN and Hall. So we won an alpha RB start here. And then just nailed wide receivers. In the 6th is where the 6th is where this was won or lost for us. Because we did solid. Jacob wanted Kyle Pitts or Deontay Johnson. I wanted Ayuk. Ron was in the middle. And, the clock's ticking. I'm being like, no, fuck Pitts. I'm being like, no, Deontay like I just had major offensive concerns, which time and time again seems to be a lesson in fantasy football. Like, bet on the good teams, 49ers versus Falcons versus Steelers. And the line that sealed it for us with Ron is I told him, I said, man, think about it. Is Deontay fucking Johnson going to win you $1 million or is Brandon Ayuk? And last second, he went with me there. We also had the argument that like structurally, Kyle Pitts was a bad pick, which sure, whatever. Like needing a second wideout, but slam dunk. Then we went and I should say that going into this draft, what I said with the boys backstage is I really thought this year could be a year won by the late round rookie tight ends. So I really, really wanted, and I told them specifically, it feels really bad that I only have one Dalton Kincaid team in the main event because I just feel in my bones he's going to smash. And so we really wanted Kincaid or Laporta. We got Musgrave, which felt all right. And that's been true, right? Like, yes, Kincaid and Laporta, league winners. Also, if you had landed on McBride, if you had landed on Ferguson, Schultz, you're feeling good about all those guys. So the tight end landscape's changing. But we went double rookie wide receiver next, which, I think we were in lockstep about. We went Addison, then we went JSN. This was after the JSN injury. Addison obviously has been a slam dunk. He's a little bit worse now without Kirk. JSN has had a weird season, but obviously he just doesn't quite seem there. He's not on the level, so he's a bit of a disappointment. He's not starting for us. We then went Bateman to stack with Lamar. Makes sense. And we had discussion of going QJ there. We didn't. We grabbed Tony, who we cut. We grabbed Odell, who we cut. Musgrave, Mingo, Jameson Williams, Kendre Miller, Michael Mayer, Dawson Knox, Butker, Chiefs D, and Cole Turner, who could have been Logan Thomas. So I like the way we did this, right? We drafted a lot of running backs at the top, and then we took a bunch of swings at wideout and a bunch of swings at tight end. Have all of them hit? No. And this has been like the island of misfit toys. Like if you read the chat between Ron, Jacob, and me, it's just like every week it was like me trying to cut one of these bum ass wideouts for just anyone else. Like it's been the island of misfit toys as far as like who's remained. Mingo finally got cut. Jameson Williams is still with us, thankfully. I still think he's a good bet for the sprint. He's the type of guy who, if you're down 50, week 17, what do you have to lose inserting a 0% played guy who could score 4 touchdowns with his speed? Like nothing. So he's the type of guy who could like literally do what like Zay Jones did for the winners last year. How it's gone in the season is we are 7-3, so awesome. We're not quite there in points scored. So winning is important. We need to win. We're playing Smut Dog this week. They got another guy with the same record as us, and we really need Hughes kids to win or to lose. So auto qualifying would be really nice because we have a Lamar team again, week 13, and we don't want to have to win to be alive for the $1 million. So winning next week is pretty important, and we need the other team to lose. How it's going this week is going. It was a sweat, man. It was a high scoring. They scored 138. We got 135.6, but we got Butker still to go. So I think we're going to beat Smut Dog, the other 7-3 team, and Hughes kids could lose. I think that's the guy who was up there, right? Hughes kids number 2. What is that team name? Looks like he's got Hurts, and he needs 22 or so. So he'll probably win, but importantly, he didn't score that well this week. So top top in points is live for us. But yeah, we should win this week. So we're going to be 8-2 or whatever. We ended up getting Puka Nacua on waivers. That obviously was huge. I got Puka on all my good teams. And the one team I had, Cooper Kupp, which we're going to look at, I bid the most and did not get him. I put out a tweet that like so randomly went viral yesterday. Just like I was talking about it through the lens of the FFPC high stakes. And I said something like, winning the Puka waiver claim was a wild high. Unfortunately, it cost many of those teams the true league winner, late round wide receiver, Mr. Tank Dell. And out of nowhere, it just like blew up for like 800K impressions, which has got to be my most popular tweet. And it's a lot of people who, like, I'm happy they related to it this way, but it's a lot of people in their like home leagues being like, got both, got both, got both, got both, got both. So it's like, okay, I guess there's a lesson there. Give something that other people can attach to and feel like they did something, you know? And that's what we did here. But it was not intentional to go viral at all. It's just so funny. So yeah, the team is solid. We got Bucker and Seahawks D. If we need to win, our current backup quarterback is Dorian Robinson. Not ideal. We just missed out on Kyler. So we're really hoping a better quarterback gets dropped. The rest of our bench right now, we got Chiefs D, which is actually huge because the Chiefs schedule also is cakewalk for the sprint. If we make it, they get their current schedule right now is Patriots, ass, Raiders, ass, and Burrowless Bengals, ass. So just like a smash schedule, and a good team. We got Michael Mayer, we got Chig, so still we're like piecing together tight end barely. And we got a bunch of other swings at wide out. We're taking a look at Rashad Penny tonight on this team. So it's a fun team. It's very good. I think it's the team that most people think is the best just because of the quality of the running backs, the quality of Ayuk and Diggs. You know, we're like loaded through the flex. Tight end is a little bit of a weak spot for us, but we got strong kicker and D probably as well. So good luck, us. Do they lock week 15 to 17 or can you adjust them? No, I mean waivers locks for some teams eventually, but no, you can change like you're going to want to all my teams I'm going to want to have 2 quarterbacks, probably 2 kickers, 1 or 2 defenses, and the reason being is because you can change your lineup week to week, and for game theory reasons, like if you notice you're in second and some guys in first, and you both have the same defense, you might as well roll the dice and be like, fuck it, maybe my defense can score more for game theory, you know? So my highest scoring team is the one I did with Tolan. So again, look at the draft here. This one just all came together for us. We got Diggs at the 110, which was like kind of rare, and AJ Brown to pair with, which is just like my dream start. And then the biggest sweat of all time, waiting, pick, and boom, Josh Allen to pair with Steph Diggs. It was just so huge. Like, if anyone watched my content was in this draft, they would not have let me got that. So rare to get, hard to get. I continued to think the elite quarterbacks were underpriced. What's up, Puma? He's meowing at me. We went Breece Hall again. Just want some shares at Breece Hall, an elite explosive running back to me. Situation's bad with his situation is bad with their quarterbacks now, but it would have been better. I really was not that into Kyle Pitts, but I guess just because I had done other drafts where he was routinely taken at like the 4-5, I like market wise, I was like, we gotta have to take him, and that cost us Ayuk on this team. And then we went JSN just because, no one does a lot of managed teams. At least I don't, unless I mean, 5 is a lot to most people. Most people are doing like 1, but I really wanted a share of JSN, and that it was kind of egregious at the time. I knew to pick him over Kenneth Walker, who was there, who like is usually not there, but it is what it is. And then next week he got hurt and he dropped. We hit Miles Sanders again at cost, so like nailed the first 3 picks. The 4th pick, these picks have been whatever. We got Marquise Brown at a great price. This pick I knew we had to do. We went A.J. Dillon, and there was a big discussion for us of like Brian Robinson or Penny. We were shooting for Kincaid in the 9th. Obviously, I would have reached for him in the 7th or 8th. I don't think Tolan wanted to with us taking Pitts, but I would have. Then we got Brian Robinson. Then we got Rashee Rice, another hit for us. Zay Jones, whatever. We went Chuba with Sanders, just being like, someone's got to start there, right? And it was ambiguous enough, which has been okay. The Brian Robinson pick over Rashad Penny has obviously been huge. Chase Brown, a 0. Kyron Williams, a guy I was huge into, but only have on 1 managed team, is obviously a key piece of this team. We took a stab at Joe Mixon's backup, Dawson Knox to pair with Allen, Justin Ross. This is managed. You're swinging for upside, defense, and kicker. Again, this team is 8-2. Also has the most points scored, so we're drawing live to sweep the regular season, and I think we've already locked up an auto qualifier after this win. On the team now is Allen, Brian Robinson, Brees, Diggs, A.J. Brown, Tanner Hudson, Marquise Brown, Puka Nacua. We got a waivers. Evan McPherson, who we're probably gonna have to cut. Jags defense, and then we got Russ for the Week 13 bye. We got Penny, Chuba, AJ Dillon, Kyron, Miles Sanders, Josh Palmer, Rashee Rice, JSN, and Kyle Pitts. So yeah, we're gonna cut some of these scrubs. Miles Sanders times probably come after a certain week. When you cut players, they cannot be picked back up. But yeah, this is one of my favorite teams. It doesn't have like star power throughout the whole lineup. Pitts will be in our tight end slot, probably is what it is. But like Diggs, AJ Brown, Josh, and then like there are going to be teams that have like loaded players like Keenan and whatever. But Brian Robinson can outscore them if given the opportunity. Maybe Marquise Brown pops up. Maybe Kyron gets in there for us. So pretty good team. The next team is the Dirty Davis and the Boys team, a stream team that is in the thick of it. We went Chase, Hurts, Ridley, Pitts, Christian Watson, Swift, Tyler Lockett, Sutton. At the Sutton pick and the Lockett pick, at the Sutton pick, they made me go Sutton. We had like a lot of debates here between me, Kyle, and Davis. You can go back and watch it, but I really wanted Pierce over Swift. I'm happy I lost that. And I really wanted to go Kincaid over Sutton. I didn't want anything to do with Sutton, and I still don't. Like, I think Sutton's son running touchdowns, but I don't think he's a great managed play. But so I really wanted to go Kincaid, which would have like really, really, really made our team stronger, but it is what it is. This is the Go Bills guys, by the way. And this is, in the 1 hole, is the back-to-back defending champions. In the 3 hole is like Pete Overzet, Pat Kerrane, Ben Gretsch, those guys. We went Charbonnet and Warren in the 9th and 10th, just, taking running back swings. Obviously, Warren's been solid for us as an RB2. Charbonnet is now the starter due to Ken Walker's injury. Khalil Herbert, another swing. Jeff Wilson, another swing. Singletary, another swing. Chuba, another swing. Gus, another swing. So I really like how we drafted this. Elite quarterback for going all the scrubs at the 2-3 turn. 5 wideouts who we thought were good. I only thought 4 of them were good. And Christian Watson ended up being is what it is, man. And then a bunch of swings at running back. I tried to make them go Luke Musgrave over Hunter Henry. They weren't about it. We went to Dallas D, and there was a lot of pushback by them, but I made the point to Kyle and Davis that the Cowboys schedule versus the Browns schedule is like a non-starter. Where at the time we were in like first or something. And so I'm constantly trying to think through like, how do I win? Like you got to grind these micro edges to give yourself the best chance to win. It's where all the money is. And a lot of people would not make the move that we made where the Cowboys D to date had like given us a bunch of touchdowns. They had smashed bad teams and the Browns were on bye, but I wanted to pick, honestly, I was okay to have the Cowboys and the Browns, but they didn't want to do two defenses. But the Cowboys play the Bills, Dolphins, and Lions in the sprint. And the Browns play the Bears, Texans, and Jets, which is just like, give me the Bears, give me the Jets. And at the time, the Texans was targeting a rookie, but maybe we won't play him against Stroud. But, the Browns defense is just so good too. So that's the type of move that can win you championships, in my opinion. The team started off so hot. It's 5-5. It is importantly fourth in points, meaning it is a playoff team today. I still think our best chance of qualifying is scoring the most points possible. I don't think we're going to get an auto qualifier, but it's not impossible because we only need to score. We just need to outscore these two teams. And then this guy can have the record and we could get there on points. So the team today, we're going to win this week, which is nice. Like our team went off this week. We got Hurts and Swift still to go. We got Jaylen Warren. We got Jamar Chase, who, is what it is. We got Tyler Lockett. We played Tanner Hudson on Kyle Pitts bye. We got Puka and Ridley, who, we'll talk about Ridley another day, but happy to see the game. We got Matt Prater actually playing this time and Cleveland D again. And then our backups are Dobbs, Gus Edwards, Chuba Hubbard, Khalil Herbert, Darrell Henderson, Zach Charbonnet, Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton, Daniel Bellinger, and Kyle Pitts. So it's a pretty good team. It's going to score a lot this week, which is important. It needs to score well next week, and it could go anywhere from not making the playoffs to auto qualifying and winning $1 million. It's a bummer not having Chase, but the team can make up for it. It's got Zach Charbonnet, who's a starter now, but has a tough schedule again. It's got a lot of good pieces. And this is a team where has so many startable players that we have missed a lot of start-sit decisions. We have a pretty simple 2 versus 1 discussion, and it is what it is. Kyle was a rate after Thursday that we played Ridley over Gus Edwards, but hey, it worked. My next two teams, I drafted by myself. This one was a slow draft. I did like way back in July or something. It just, I drafted Cooper Kupp. So obviously that hurts right there. Pollard, which I thought at the time was like a smash, getting Pollard way back here. I went Metcalf over Ridley. It was Metcalf or Ridley for me. And then I went Kirk in the 4th. And you can see I got Kirk in the 6th in the other draft. Then I got Darren Waller, who I really like. At the time at the 4-5 was awesome because by the end of the draft cycle, he was a 2-3 turn guy ahead of TJ Hawkinson. So everyone was buying the Waller steam. Hasn't worked. When Damian Pearson Cook, again, kind of disappointing, but like the idea was there. Like if this is Swift, maybe a different story. Michael Thomas, Kincaid, again, doing the second tight end, James Williams, Anthony Richardson. Losing him just cost you so many points because like you ate some zeros some weeks. Algier, Goff, Singletary, Gallup, Bills D, Tyler Conklin, Daniel Carson, and then Evan Hull and Chris Evans. I think the team is dead, but we'll look. It is at 12:50. Yeah, so it is dead. So, I mean, look, you lose Cup, and I put in a huge waiver claim for Puka Nacua, and just didn't get it. You know, like some guy overbid me, and that's probably like 100, 200 point difference, maybe. So maybe I would be in the mix if not, but probably not. The other team just really got stricken by injuries, mostly. Jefferson, obviously, has been out. Devonta Smith, Calvin Ridley, George Kittle, Mike Williams lost to injury. Dameon Pierce, not good. Gabe Davis. This team just like, I took so many running backs and hit absolutely zero of them. You know, like I cannot draw up a worse running back room. Dameon Pierce, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, Tank Bigsby, Zamir White, Ty Chandler, Malik Davis, Evan Hull, Chris Evans. So when you build a team like I did here, which is like 0 running back with elite tight end, I smashed quarterback, both got hurt. But, you know, like when you take these swings at all these running backs, like when I did it with Davis and Kyle, we hit on some guys. We hit on Warren. We hit on whatever, you know. Sometimes you don't. And so, like, I truly believe building teams like this is how you can win championships, but you're going to build a shitty team sometimes when you don't hit the right running backs. So it's this balance of playing for first versus playing for safety. Kittle and Musgrave. This team, I think, is like mega dead, but we can look. Yeah, it's like it's last in the league. It's not good. The last league to look at is on RTS Sports, Real Time Sports. Their structure is very similar to the FFPC. It's not tight end premium. We're not going to look at everything right now, but this team's kind of hilarious. First off, let's see how we're doing. Or first off, we'll look at the standings. So we are second in the, like, we're a playoff team today, but we are 3-7. So this team is scoring a lot of points, but just like getting outscored because it's getting outscored. They have this total points formula, which I don't know how it works, but we're a playoff team right now. So it's a team that needs to win. It's going to need to win the league playoffs to qualify for the championship, which is hard to do, but possible. You know, you really want to auto qualify. The team has Lamar, Achane, who went out with injury, unfortunate. Etienne, Pollard, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, TJ Hawkinson, and Kincaid, which I've just been playing both of them. Jason Sanders, Browns defense. It's got Kyler for week 13 if I make the playoffs, so that's nice. And then the bench has a lot of solid pieces. It's got Rico, Lat Murray, Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis, Demario Douglas, Khalil Shakir, JSN, Pat Freiermuth, K. Dotton. I had a Pat Freiermuth last week because Hawkinson and Kincaid also have a week 13 bye. So this team could totally make the playoffs and then just lose week 13 because it's got Lamar, it's got Hawkinson, it's got Kincaid all on bye. Achane is obviously hurt again. And so, yeah, like I'm going to have to win games with these guys, which is like, I guess, possible. I think we're going to beat this dude. Who's he got? He's got Pacheco. Oh, he's got a lot of guys. Pacheco, Smith, Elliott, and Eagles. So he's going to win. Again, just scoring as many points as I can is important, and I didn't score that much this week. 111 is okay. I guess I'll show you my ESPN home league. Yeah, Brad, he says, can we see your best 555 teams on DK? Yeah, let me pull up some of those. I want to show you guys my home league in ESPN just because why not? I manage this league. There's some foul usernames, I'm sure, in this league, but we'll not look at that. My team is okay. It's a 14-team league, which is it's really tough. You know, a 14-team versus 12-team. If you've never done 14-team, shit dries up quick. I'm the commissioner of this league. I formed my freshman year of college. I recruited most of the guys in the league. They all went to college with me. So it's a good time. It's not a lot of money at stake. But we got Kyler. I had Richardson, Breece Hall, Tajay Spears, Steph Diggs, A.J. Brown, Christian Watson, Kincaid, and Laporta, who I'm just playing both. Giants D, Evan McPherson, Drake London, JSN, Gainwell, Justice Hill, Jaleel McLaughlin, Falcons D, Sam Howell, Rashad Bateman. So we lost Richardson, but we got Howell and Murray. And I think we'll make the playoffs, but it's going to be tough. We are like third in points, which points for is the only tiebreak, as it should be. Some lessons I just want to hit on before. Here, I'll just bring myself full screen. Some lessons I really want to hit on is, if you're not already in my Discord, make sure you join, because I put a lot of stuff in the best ball resources, which will be very happy or helpful for next year. Like right away, I said, when you're needing to make late round picks and you're unsure of who to pick, check out these sites for the draft history at tight end, running back, and wide receiver. So I was telling people, draft rookies at the end of the draft. And again, this is a lesson that, me included, we need to continue to be learning, because it's like, look, if you just close your eyes at random and you took the wide receivers taken in like the third round plus, okay, so sometimes you're taking Trey Tucker, but other times you're taking Michael Wilson, you're taking Josh Downs, you're taking Nathaniel Dell, you're taking Rashee Rice, you're taking Jaden Reed, you're taking Marvin Mims. If you extend it a little bit, you're taking Puka Nacua. So just looking at the history and just closing your eyes, taking rookies. And I really think for best ball this year, there was way too much discussion about floor. There was way too much. People were pounding the table. Devontae Parker is a good pick because he'll give you some usable weeks. Robert Woods is a good pick because he'll give you some usable weeks. Darius Slayton. I fell into the trap of Darius Slayton. He'll give you some weeks. This is floor mindset, drafting these old vets. Some of them who we know are like done, like Robert Woods. You need to swing for upside with every pick. And if you do, if you land on an Achane, if you land on a Nate Dell, it can change your season, So swinging for upside is definitely my takeaway there. Let me just send a bunch of I think the easiest way to do this is just to send some of my top scoring teams on the 555 to my Discord. So we're going to do that. I'm advancing 11 of my 555 teams at the moment. At one point, I was advancing 3, like 3 weeks ago. So that just tells you how tight the advancing is. And like probably a bunch of my guys are on bye, so it's skewed. But obviously my rosters are coming on down stretch. But advancing 2 would have been like a disaster. I did not max the 555. I did like 75 or so. My top team has no quarterback. It's a Richardson Cousins team. Is what it is. So I don't know. I'll just send like 5 teams right now. I checked the numbers and I probably have like 30 teams that are within 100 or so. And remember, for best ball, you have till week 14 to advance. So let's just post some of these in here. Okay. Let's get some of these teams in there. I'll show you my top team, which the 555, unlike something like BBM4, you can survive a 0 basically, because the advance rates are either week 16 or week 15 is 1 out of 5, and then the other week is 1 out of 6. And then you just got to be 30 people. So obviously that's a lot easier to do than like 1 out of 16. So I'll just post 5 at random kind of here. I have a lot of CJ Stroud and Tank Dell, which I'm thinking might be a little bit low owned in the 555 because when the 555 filled early compared to something like it filled early compared to something like BBM4, and depending when, like, Tank Dell didn't get on people's draft radars until that preseason game. So I can't quite remember the timeline of that all. But yeah, that's really at play here. Okay. So let's get some of these open. A little trick for you. You got to open in browser or you can't see any of this shit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I only post 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get one more in there. Give a little love to our DraftKings people. I'm advancing 40 of my Millie Maker teams, which is nice. But also, like, the way I drafted my Millie Maker teams was I did like on my phone. So this was a very stressful thing. I would do like between 15 to 20 at the same time, and just to get them done because I drafted them very late in the season. So I'm sure they're not all correlated, but they're doing well. So this team is a Lamar Stroud Howell team. Absolutely smashed combo of quarterbacks. It's got Jaylen Warren, Singletary, Brian Robinson, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Gainwell, Zamir White, and Kyren Williams. So really a strong collection of running backs where it was a Pollard anchor, and then I took a bunch of swings and I landed on some of those. And some of these guys are just starting to come on. Like Singletary is just starting. Warren to some degree is just starting. Pollard may be back a little bit. Kyren Williams is about to return. He's on a lot of my strong teams. So him returning and doing well would be huge for me. Zamir White is like the only pure 0 on the team, but he's not 0, right? He's a Jacobs injury away. Kenneth Gainwell probably a Swift injury away. Wide receiver is a little bit weak, but it is Tank Dell. Slayton gave us a week. Christian Watson, he'll have some weeks, but it's not looking great. Bateman, at least he's like playing more now. Maybe he's getting healthier. He's trending up a little bit. JSN, he's playing. Steph Diggs, Gallup, Marquise. So not the strongest group of wideouts, but it hit on the Tank Dell Stroud combo, which is really strong. And then like Diggs, Marquise, Dell is a strong trio with some other guys that can hit some spikes. And then tight end is Kincaid and Pitts, which is like pretty great, right? You punt it off tight end and you hit on Kincaid, and Pitts could maybe spike somewhat, but he's not the best. So I like the team a lot. It's got a good shot. My next team And I drafted a lot of Howell, so he's going to be on a lot of these. It's a Howell, Goff, Jimmy G team. So it's got 2 quarterbacks left. And that I should highlight on that last team, everyone is healthy, which is a very rare thing for a lot of these teams. Just a lot of teams out there are going to be having injuries. It's got Warren, Charbonnet, Etienne, Spears, Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris, who is probably out for the season. So a good group of running backs where I went Etienne and Ramondre at the 3-4, which was really like a combo I tried to do purposefully sometimes, just thinking that those running backs could be mispriced and could produce like the first and second round guys. And I was like kind of correct, but only because the first and second round guys have sucked. It's like, yeah, can Ramondre and Etienne produce like Pollard? Yes, but it's not because in Ramondre's case that he's good. It's more so that Pollard disappointed. Wideout is very strong. It's got Ayuk and Amon-Ra, Dotson. I got a lot of Amon-Ra, of course. Jacoby Myers, JSN, Garrett Wilson, and Deontay Hardy. And then tight end hit on Trey McBride, which is nice. It hit on we went Otten as well, and we got Goddard, who should be returning. So a pretty good team here. Definitely got some players you're excited about, and the outlook of some of these players is looking better today. Not that many zeros. Damian Harris is a 0. Jimmy G is a potential 0. Deontay Hardy, I kind of want to look up how many snaps he ran with the Bills OC change. A little bit more, honestly. Looks like Joe Brady rightfully said Trent Sherfield who and let Hardy play. So, could he give you a spike? Yeah, but he's like probably not it. I don't know the total points. I just picked 5 that are like almost certainly going to advance. Or maybe 1 or 2 are close. I'd have to look back at my app for that. So, pretty solid team. The stacks are Howell to Dotson, Goff to Amon-Ra, and Jimmy G to Myers. The next team is a hyper-fragile team where the quarterbacks are Tua, Geno, and Young. Fine combo of quarterbacks there. We're unsure about Geno's health at this time. They got CMC, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, and Ken Walker. So I went alpha RB and then just hit a bunch of wideouts. Ken Walker obviously hurt for the time being. Probably be like 4 games or so. Significant oblique injury, whatever that means. What up, prime time? And then wide receiver has Darius Slayton, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, Bateman, Jordan Addison, Atwell, DJ Chark, Josh Downs, Deontay Hardy. So the hits, it hit enough wide receivers where it hit on Evans, Collins, and Addison from the mid round. And when you have enough running back production with enough hits, that can work for you. Tight end is Musgrave, Higbee, and Juwan Johnson. So one of my weaker tight end teams. The next team, I maybe streamed this one. Can't remember. It's a Love, Howell, Geno, and Bryce Young. So I went 4 quarterback on this one just because I think I stacked them all. And because I could. Because I remember drafting this one and being like, it's a little thin to go 6 running backs here, but I felt strong enough at tight end. I felt strong enough at wide receiver. And so I was like, okay, 3 quarterbacks and 7 running backs, 3 quarterbacks or 4 quarterbacks and 6 running backs. It's similar. It's unique. It's a bunch of stacks. So the running backs I went with are Rachaad White, Miles Sanders, this team has only had, for like a significant stretch of the season, it only has had Rachaad White healthy at running back. Because Miles Sanders was the other running back. He's been like in and out. And then Achane, obviously he's been hurt. And then he came back and he's hurt again. Chase Brown, who is out for the season, I believe, on IR. Kyron Williams, who's a hit. He's going to come back and hopefully not be Achane. And then Evan Hull. So really, it's now a 4 running back team of Kyron, Achane, Sanders, and White. Fortunately, the floor will be high with the White and Kyron combo if they are who they are. And then, we'll see what we do. Wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, Tyreek, and Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, Treylon Burks, and DJ Chark. So really feel great about this wide receiver group. Obviously, it's spent a lot at wide receiver. The stacks are Howell to McLaurin, Love to Musgrave, Geno to Metcalf, and Bryce Young to Sanders / DJ Chark, and you got the Kirk and Ridley for the Week 17 game. The tight end is very lit, where it's got Kincaid, Laporta, Musgrave. So I did that combo a lot, specifically the Kincaid-Laporta combo, and it's really paying off. Because again, I said this like all offseason. It was one of the dumbest narratives ever to me that tight ends cannot produce because they're rookies. It was very lazy. It was people just not looking at the situations of those tight ends and the situations of these tight ends, So thank you for them for touting that. But yeah, this team's like loaded, right? Running back is obviously a question, but it's got Tyreek. It's loaded at wideout. It's loaded at tight end. It's got 4 quarterbacks. So it really only needs to figure out like RB2, usually RB1. And it cannot eat another injury at running back. And hopefully Achane is back. This last team here is a Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance team. So this is one of the teams I drafted like probably around May. Obviously Richardson out for the year. It's just Stroud at the moment, given the quarterback points. And Trey Lance is... I'd rather have Trey Lance than Kirk Cousins. We know what it takes for him to play. It's going to take a Dak injury. So, is what it is. Obviously, I wish he was Purdy because I stacked him with 49ers for this team. Running backs are Etienne, Foreman, Roschon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, and Cam Akers and Chase Brown. So, it's really only got Swift, Roschon, Foreman, and Etienne. It's like not the best crew, but the quality of Swift and Etienne is doing a lot of work here. Who also is like, Etienne's a little banged up, it seems. Wideouts, it's got Tank Dell, Amon-Ra, OBJ, Debo, Jacoby Myers, Michael Gallup, Isaiah Hodgins, AJ Brown, and that's it. So like a mix of guys there, some solid hits in Dell, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Debo, okay, should be better weeks ahead. He's been hurt. Jacoby Myers gave you some weeks. OBJ maybe trending up, maybe trending healthier. And then tight end, it has Kittle and Waller, who I think Waller's out for the season. I don't really know. But at least it has Kittle. So one double elite tight end on this team. I thought I posted my highest scoring team, which is loaded everywhere, but it's a Richardson Cousins team, so we don't have it right now. So that's going to be it for, I guess we'll look at our best ball portfolio, right? We got to look at our BBM4 portfolio. Hang out a little bit longer. In my Discord, again, the link to join that is in the description below. Please hit the like on the video as well while you join. Let's look me up. Currently advancing 34 out of 150. But we got quite a bit of Eagles players to play. So that should, mainly the Eagles, not as much of the Chiefs. Looking at my user exposure, or I guess first we should look back at my top scoring teams. Two teams in the top 10K right now. I think I had 4 last week. The highest scoring one for me at the moment is actually one I streamed. So no free streaming EV over here. Josh Allen, Stroud, CMC, Saquon, Etienne, Walker. And then just like imagine if I actually hit on some of these wide receivers because it's a down bad group. But tight end is also a smash. Looking at some of my exposures. Kincaid, let's go. Gabe Davis, he's going to give you spikes. He's not consistent. He's fine in best ball. Charbonnet is now the starter. Wheels up. Let's go. Jaylen Warren just gave you 2 great weeks. He's got some good matchups. Is also the starter. Let's go. Tony Pollard scored a touchdown last week. Let's go. Christian Kirk did nothing. Tank Bigsby continues to do nothing. TJ Hawkinson has been a smash. Darius Slayton, we even got a touchdown out of. Let's go. Then he got hurt, I think. Diggs, JSN, nah. Mike Williams, get healthy, big guy. Josh Allen, let's go. Richardson, get healthy, big guy. Laporta, let's go. Gainwell, Swift, and Penny are all like very similar draft amounts to me. You can see 28 Gainwell teams, 26 Penny teams, and 26 Swift teams. So just again, I just like split that. Hodgins, Zeroville, Rashad Penny. I have some hope for Rashad Penny starting tonight, even. We got a touchdown out of Christian Watson. Calvin Ridley. Maybe he's back, man. I don't know. And then Ramondre, probably not the best process pick, but he's okay. Kyron back next week, hopefully. Damon Harris probably out. Got a touchdown out of JMO. So it was a solid week for my portfolio teams, especially like the outlook going forward with Charbonnet. But his schedule is really tough. So, all right, gang, we chopped it up for an hour or so. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Please join my Discord if you have not already. You can follow me on Twitter at ChessLiam. We'll be back tomorrow for the BBM4 leaderboard show. Might be ripping that solo because I forgot to ask some people. And got some guest streams planned. Gonna try to do one with Justin this week. Maybe Davis and Pat next week. The Underdog Pick'em show, Chase, we do on Friday. But for you, we'll make a Pick'em slip for tonight, bro. Why not? We almost hit our Pick'ems last week. We went 4 out of 5. Only Trey McBride missed is what it is. All right. So Kansas City has a good defense that runs a lot of man. And we know that A.J. Brown is like the alpha of all alphas against man defense. So we're going to take higher on his receiving yards. Trying to decide if I want receiving yards or fantasy points. We also know that Taylor Swift's parents are meeting Travis Kelce's parents tonight. So give me a higher on Travis Kelce, where it's a plus matchup for tight ends. And we might just lock in the double alpha and call it a day. Like double alpha, both in good spots. No need to risk it with anything else. You want more, Chase? You want to pick 5 or what, bro? How many picks you want? I'm doing this for you. You tell me how many players you want in this slip, Chase, and I'll give it to you. Unless you're saying no way to the parents' meeting. Which is, that's happening tonight, man. So Travis Kelce got to score a touchdown there. Waiting on you, Chase. How many picks? You trust me. I'm not perfect, It's hard to say if I want to do passing yards with Hurts or rushing yards. On 4? All right. Let's get Jalen Hurts fantasy points. Can get there so many ways, right? Been over that a lot. It's a good defense, but and let's get Pat Mahomes passing yards. So we got the alpha. We got the quarterback stacked with their alphas. Call it a pick 4. Put whatever you want in there. I know some people want some showdown coverage. You know, just play some low-end guys, leave salary. That's my showdown advice to you. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back with more later. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and have a great day. Peace.